Hi, I'm Danielle. Welcome to my perfume journal. Every month I do a little wrap up of my month in perfume, and in this video I will share my journal pages, talk about my most worn scents, my perfume of the month, my sample of the month, and some highlights from March. So every day I write down my scent of the day and my scent of the night, and then I keep these fun color-coded trackers to kind of take the temperature of my choices for the month. On the left is where I track the scent family, and on the right is where I track what type of perfume it was, a designer, a niche, an artisan, a vintage, or a celebrity. And then I can look back at the end of the month and see what I wore. So during March, most of my scents of the day were florals, and they were pretty evenly distributed between designer, niche, and celebrity scents. And most of my nighttime perfumes were also florals, and it seemed that I mostly reached for niche perfumes in the evenings. So why do I do this? In early 2025, I decided to dump all of my social media accounts that were leading me to do a lot of mindless scrolling and doom scrolling. And I felt like there were better, more productive ways I could spend my time doing creative things like keeping a journal or making YouTube videos. And I got this idea from watching journaling videos on YouTube. People will track all kinds of things. They will track their moods, how much water they drink, if they exercise every day. And I just translated this idea of keeping a tracker into this hobby journal. And I have to say, it has been such a relaxing exercise every evening, a much preferred activity to the mindless doom scrolling I was doing. And I say this all the time, but I am so much happier now that I am off of that type of social media and doing more productive things with my time, like this. I also keep track of how many times I wear a perfume each month, which you can see here, and whether the perfume I wore was from my collection or if I was giving a sample a full and proper wear test. And so this month I wore a total of 31 perfumes from my collection, and I tested 9 different samples. And I love keeping track of stats like this every month. I think it's such an interesting look into my perfume habits and what I've been reaching for over the course of the month. So now on to my most worn perfumes of March. So the perfumes that wind up on my most worn tray are the ones that I wore more than once during the month. And this month I wore 8 perfumes more than once, and none of them were samples this time around. So first up we have Stash Unspoken, which I wore twice this month. Stash Unspoken is by Sarah Jessica Parker, who not only makes some of the best celebrity scents, but also some of the highest quality, affordable perfumes I have ever smelled. Stash Unspoken is nothing like the original Stash, but it is just as beautiful. This one is a musky, woody floral with notes of quince, pink pepper, honeysuckle, peony, wisteria, musk, sandalwood, tonka bean, and frankincense. And this perfume reminds me a lot of Burberry Brit. It's very perfumey. It's a little bit sweet. It's a tiny bit tart. It's got lots of creamy woods. I love honeysuckle, and I think it is just beautiful in this perfume. It has that bright sweetness that is really lovely with the powdery, woody, musky base notes. This perfume is also very long lasting. I ended up actually having to wash my coat because this perfume was clinging to it and it was competing with all of my other scents of the day. Not that that is a bad thing, but I needed Stash to give some of my other perfumes a chance to shine. Very beautiful perfume. Really enjoyed wearing this. Also worn twice this month is Angel Muse. So Angel Muse took the crown as the most perfumey perfume in my entire collection. So clearly this month I had perfumey stuff on the brain. And Angel Muse is red berries, grapefruit, hazelnut cream, patchouli, and vetiver. And it definitely takes on that original Angel profile, that OG gourmand herself, but it puts a slight twist on it with the hazelnut. And just like the gourmands of its day, this is not like an edible smelling gourmand. This is not going to make you smell like a tub of Nutella. Instead, it gives you like the feeling of a chocolate hazelnut spread rather than like a photorealistic imitation of it. And I personally like that in a gourmand. I like the gourmands that I wear to be representations of something edible rather than the smell of the actual edible thing, if that makes any kind of sense. This perfume is gorgeous. It is a showstopper. And I feel like I'm good with this tiny little travel size for a while because all I really need of this is one spray and the scent trail lasts all day long. So I also wore Katy Perry's Indi twice this month, and I learned about this perfume from Cassandra at Skin Sense for Fusspots. I will link her channel down below. And if I remember correctly, I think she said that this is the perfume that she has the most backup bottles of. So immediately that signaled me to give it a try, and it's so affordable. So I blind bought this one and I have absolutely no regrets. This is one of those perfumes that I would put into that creamy, musky, woody category. Reminds me quite a bit of Kenneth Cole White, a little tiny bit of Erin's Amber Musk. It has notes of white tea, bergamot, plum, white cedarwood, lily of the valley, cyclamen, musk, amber, and tonka. And the plum is what totally makes this perfume. The plum with that woodiness and the creaminess, I love that combination in a perfume. And then those lovely florals just add like the teeniest bit of crispness to the perfume, just a touch. It's like you're hugging somebody who just naturally smells amazing, and they are also wearing a clean, freshly laundered white shirt. And it's warm, it's cozy, it's wonderful, but it does have just a little bit of that clean vibe to it as well. I love this perfume. I'm so happy I added this to my collection, and I might even get rid of my bottle of Kenneth Cole White because I like this much better. So also in the 2-time club this month is Violet Ida from Miller Harris, one of my favorite perfumes of all time, one of my favorite nighttime scents, and I need to have a word with whomever at Miller Harris thought that this perfume should be discontinued. Please, please, please bring this perfume back. It needs to be in the permanent collection. It's too good. I have always called this perfume lipstick on a bunny, and when I tell you the notes, it might explain why. So they are carrot, bergamot, orris butter, heliotrope, violet, vanilla, and liquid amber. And so when you combine that awesome carrot note with the waxiness of the orris butter and that fluffy heliotrope, the violet and the vanilla, you totally get drag bunny. It is what I think of whenever I wear this perfume. And I am to carrots in perfume like zombies are to brains. I love a carrot note. If there is a carrot note in a perfume, I will want to smell it. So if you have any recommendations on perfumes with carrot, I would love to hear them. I'm always seeking perfumes that have that note. And until I find another one that I like as much, Violet Ida is at the top right now. I wore Jill Sanders' Softly Eau de Petales twice this month. What a pretty perfume this is. I feel like I was sleeping on Jill Sanders perfumes, but better late than never. And I blind bought this one because I was searching for a very specific combination of notes. I was searching for perfumes that had mimosa and rice. And this one popped up, and it had additional notes of cherry blossom, rosebud, May rose, jasmine, white musk, and ambrox. And I was like, oh, what a lovely note list. And so I picked it up, and the perfume is just as nice. It's very pink smelling, sort of in that same way as Chanel Chance Eau Tendre. It's rosy, it's a little bit musky, but not too much. The ambroxan is like not in overdrive because that can really turn me off in a perfume. And then the rice note adds just like a little bit of starchiness. So the perfume is airy, but it's not fleeting. This is just another affordable gem. I really enjoy this perfume. I just realized I didn't put this on the tray. This is Ellis Brooklyn Myth, and I wore it 3 times this month. I only had a little bit left in the bottle. This was my signature scent for a while, starting maybe around like 2016. I didn't have a lot of perfumes at the time, so this one was in frequent rotation. I might have just one more wear left in this bottle. This is a clean, musky jasmine. It's very simple. It's very easy to wear. It's a great everyday scent. And it's kind of cool that I'm not saying goodbye to this perfume because I got sick of it. I'm saying goodbye to it because I wore the whole entire bottle, and I'm very happy to have known and loved her. It was a good ride, Myth. I'll miss you. So next we have my top 3 most worn perfumes from the month of March. First is Rihanna Rebelle. I wore this 4 times this month, and I'm so mad at myself for sleeping on this perfume until now. I need like 50 bottles of this, and of course now you can't find it anywhere. I got this little travel size for $5, and I want to go back and purchase every last one of them. And I will say that anybody who turns their noses up on celebrity perfumes is missing out. You will never find any snobbery here on this channel, let me tell you right now, because this is some good stuff. This reminds me of Black Opium. I love Black Opium. I know a lot of people don't like it. I love it, and I love this even more. This is strawberry, ginger, plum, cocoa, heliotrope, orchid, coffee, musk, amber, and patchouli. This is so good. I definitely get a nice, healthy dose of the coffee in this, and not just in the dry down. It's like there the whole entire time. And this perfume to me smells like a flight of coffee. It's like you took a bunch of cups of good, hot coffee, nice, strong coffee, and you lined them all up. And then one at a time, you poured a different flavored creamer into each cup. Like you put in a plum flavored creamer, a strawberry creamer, a ginger creamer, a musk, a heliotrope, a cocoa creamer. And you can smell them all mixing like individually with the coffee one at a time. And then you take all of those cups of coffee and you dump them into one giant coffee urn. And that smell just fills the whole room and is glorious. That is what this smells like to me. I think this perfume is beautiful. I love this. I have to find myself a bottle of this. I need a lot more of this perfume in my life. So next is my beloved Bois Farine from L'Artisan Parfumeur, which I wore 6 times this month. I will try not to bore you for the umpteenth time about this perfume, but I will say one more time that it is one of the most beautiful scents I have ever smelled in my life. And I'm not sure if I've actually ever shared the note list on my channel. And I know that notes don't tell the whole story of a perfume, but they do serve a purpose and kind of like giving you an idea of what a perfume might smell like. So here's what they are: fennel seed, grapefruit, ambrette seed, grain, wheat, iris pallida, sandalwood, gaiac wood, benzoin, and cedarwood. And since I talk about this perfume so incessantly, let me tell you something I learned about it. So one of the best things to me about being a perfume enthusiast is that it often piques my curiosity about a lot of other things. So I feel like I'm constantly looking things up and learning something new through the world of perfume. So I got curious about iris pallida, like what makes it different from other types of iris. And I found out that iris pallida, and you might already know this, but I didn't, it's that beautiful bluish purple sort of bearded iris. And of course, it's the root from which we get that beautiful scent. But the cool thing that I learned is that iris pallida is mostly cultivated in the Chianti region of Italy, and that the rhizomes were used to make children's teething beads and rosary beads. And my grandmother would have loved that. She would have approved of that because she loved flowers, she loved the rosary, and she loved Italian cooking, and she was an incredible, incredible cook. So I feel like she would have loved this perfume so much. I wish she could have smelled it. And I don't know, it just makes me love this perfume even more. And finally, my most worn perfume this month, coming in at 8 times worn, is a perfume I almost gave up on and decluttered. This is Noir from Givenchy. I did not think that I liked this perfume at all until one day I just did. It sometimes happens that way with a perfume. And it is really why I never quit on a perfume after just one wear, unless it's something like totally disgusting, which this obviously is not. This is one of those perfumes that I found when I was researching sesame fragrances. It was discontinued, but I did manage to find a bottle for cheap. So I went ahead and I blind bought it. And honestly, I have paid more for 5 little dabber samples of perfumes than this whole entire bottle of perfume. So I never regret when that happens, even if the perfume doesn't end up working out. So this perfume is almond, pink pepper, white iris, black sesame, tonka bean, and amber. And at first when I smelled this, I thought there was something kind of like weirdly soapy about it that didn't quite go with the sesame. And I think it was probably that iris and pink pepper combination. That's what kind of made me unsure at first. And I did not really think I was going to be able to get past that to appreciate the lovely nutty aspects and the powderiness of this perfume. But one day it just clicked, kind of like wearing progressive lenses. And now I just love this perfume. I love it. I got lots of good wears out of it in March, and I'm just really happy that it ended up working out. And as a bonus, the bottle is just stunning. I'm not sure if you can really see it very well, but the bottom of the bottle is all like glittered. The top is clear and then the bottom is glittered. It's just, I think it's a beautiful bottle. And so that is my most worn perfume for March, L'Ange Noir from Givenchy. So before we get to my choices for Perfume of the Month and Sample of the Month, a couple of highlights from March. One is that I swapped perfume samples with a new friend. It was so fantastic. She shared some samples with me that I have not tried yet, but really wanted to. And I have a feeling they are going to be my entire sample page for the month of April. I am so excited about them. So thank you. And the best highlight of the month was something I did at my house. I hosted a perfume sniffing party for a whole bunch of my friends. I made snacks, we had beverages, and then I set up a whole bunch of perfumes by scent family. So I had them labeled like light florals, I had heavy florals, woody perfumes, spicy and ambery scents, gourmands, fresh perfumes, a big selection of vintage perfumes, and then I had a tray called weird stuff. And I wasn't really sure if everyone would be into it because they're not perfume enthusiasts who spend every waking moment thinking about perfume like me, but they loved it. It was so much fun. It was cool to see what they gravitated toward and what they didn't like at all. And the biggest hits were Glossier You, Katy Perry's Indi, Clementine, California from Atelier Cologne. A lot of my Jo Malones were big hits, lots of gourmands, and then everybody loved the vintages. That was my favorite part. They remembered so many of them. They looked at the bottles and they were like, oh, I remember this perfume. So-and-so wore this. And they would take off the cap and they would smell it. And you could just see the memories coming back. That was the best part of the entire night for me. And then everyone got to choose perfumes that they liked. And I made them all decants. I even sent a few bottles home with people. It was so much fun. It was the best night I've had in a really long time. And it's something I plan to do again for my family and some other friends. There are 4 things that I love in this life: my husband and family, my friends, traveling, and perfume. And so if you put any of those things together in any combination, that is my idea of a good time. And my sample of the month is going to Shalimar Eau de Cologne. I have been searching and searching for my Shalimar for the longest time. I love them all. I can't have them all. So I've been wanting my first Shalimar to be one that really felt like me. And I think this one is going to be it. But before I finally decide, I want to wear this one outside in very warm weather because I think it's going to be beautiful in that atmosphere. And I'm really excited to see what that's like. And I feel like perfumes as special as Shalimar deserve this kind of thoughtful consideration, right? It's Shalimar. So for March, I am choosing Rebelle from Rihanna as my perfume of the month. It wasn't my most worn perfume, but it was my absolute favorite discovery, and now I'm on the lookout for a secondhand bottle. And like I said before, you will never, ever hear me slagging off celebrity perfumes. Some of them are just exceptional, and this is one of them. And so my next video will be the March installment already. I can't believe March is already over. Of Perfume Collecting for Regular People, the series where I talk about what I bought, exactly how much money I spent, and whether or not I stayed within my budget for the month. I love making those videos. I'm just here trying to keep it real as a perfume enthusiast who loves this hobby so much and also tries to keep it on a budget. So thank you so much for watching. for spending your time here with me, for chatting perfumes with me in the comments. It's my favorite thing. I appreciate all of you, and I have really, truly enjoyed connecting with you over perfume. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.